Good. Are we on? Oh my God, my face is just awful. Hello, everybody. I'm doing the best I can with the constraints the Lord has given me. It's very cold, so I have a hoodie on, but I'm not wearing a shirt, so that counts. Is this their cherry? It's a kind of a maraschino situation. I love a good artificial cherry. That always makes me incredibly happy. None of it's real. Look at what happened to my face. Dear Lord, awful. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the program. It is Sunday. It is me. I'm here. I hope you are too. At some juncture, I assume you will be. I will say off the top, obviously, naturally, if you have not already, go watch the latest Hey W with one Darby Allin. If you saw my post yesterday, I was making a sign in the car because it happened very last minute in New York. I didn't have any of my shit with me. My glasses, my mugs, the Hey sign, the on-air sign, nothing. Bro, got a piece of paper and a marker, and I went to work. That's what you got to do under these circumstances. He said, meet me on the street at midnight. We tracked him down, different streets. He picked, I would say, one of the worst streets possible. You can hear cars honking. You can hear people talking, women mocking and laughing at me out loud. They see the camera. They don't care. Cool guys driving by very loudly on their cars is a big thing. And angry like Uber Eats motorbike guys. Well, it was exhausting. Yet, we made it through. And it's an episode about life and love and death. Mainly about death. About death and pain. And how much I don't like Rick Rubin. So go watch it, go like it, comment, go share, go tell everyone that it's a seminal moment in your understanding of what it means to be human. And that's what would help me a lot. Red Dog say, good morning, RJ. Poop and fart, loving Harley, everyone. Happy early Halloween. Remember to change it. We get an extra hour, and then I'm caught up, and I will look less gaunt. Ellie said, good morning to all of you. Prisma said, great pull for Hey this week. James said, good morning, everyone. Great episode of Hey with Darby Allin. I will say, last week, or this week, at the Building and Tech, for the third fucking time, because I am such a pig that not only do I not have a graphic, I have to travel with my own set. What are they paying for exactly? I don't really know. Efren is here, and I saw Efren last week at Conrad and Tony Schiavone's Top Guy Weekend. He was doing his little games. His little games. I can just call them games. I don't have to belittle them. They're games. You do games, and you should be respected. And I stopped by Tony Schiavone's podcast with Harley Cameron, unfortunately, and we did so on our way to our comedy show, Oli Comedy in St. Louis. Everybody came. It was a wild time. Paul Cabana and I hosted at this place called Fox. It was a different room for us, but it was a very nice time. Harley sang quite a song. It's available. I think some people taped it and put it up on TikTok. Unfortunately, we did not have the reason of food poisoning at the last minute, which is upsetting because it was a surreal evening of comedy. Dee Malenko, Jerry Lynn, Bryce Remsburg, Conrad was there, and of course, David, who was wearing a fuzzy pink sweater and kept saying lewd things. James said, RJ, I'm surprised you didn't go into the origins of the name Darby Allin. I don't think there's that much there. Susie R said, good morning. Today's episode of Hey was excellent. Nail said, here before the start, let's see if it still cuts off the intro. It remains to be seen. We'll go down and find out. Mia said, good morning, beautiful people. Nail said, RJ, how's your back and your balls? Is he late? Are we having difficult? My back is okay, ultimately. Darby's brother, who's very Culkin-like his demeanor kicked me square in the fucking balls. Mia said, RJ, I'm sure you should have interviewed Darby's brother. I'm sure he would have been more pleasant. Actually, no. Kevin Featherstone said, bad internet Wi-Fi. Prisma said, cough, ask RJ. I'm back. Okay, so this is what's fucked up. Is that this whole time the clock has been going and I thought I'd been live, so I've been talking about a bunch of shit and no one's been seeing it. And then I got to the bottom of the chat and I realized nobody's fucking talking. And I think, well, that's bad. That's probably not good for what's going on here. Jesus. Mia said, what city are you in? I'm currently in Florida, which says everything about the Wi-Fi quality. What was I gonna say? What was I talking about? I was talking about Shivani's stand-up. I've been talking for 10 minutes. Everybody missed the whole thing. I was just stand-up. Tony Schiavone tells a story about shitting himself, and you knew it was real. And it was alarming because it was real. What else happened? Oh my God, there was a question, a match game, and it was about what's the password at Jeff and Karen Jarrett's secret underground orgy. And the woman playing the contestant was like, I've been to multiple orgies. Okay. Every city is an RJ city. Ellie said, me and RJ having terrible internet lately. Nelson, did you wish SM a happy birthday? Yes, I did it all in the thing. Oh, fucking shit. Hold on. So, SM, happy birthday. I'm doing an abbreviated version of what I said before. Life, whatever you want it to be in the future, can be long, can be short. It's all up to you. And that's what's so incredible about it. Also, I don't know, predict her future. Oh, I see prosperity in your future. I see a long and healthy life and prosperous things. I see self-actualization. What do you want? What do you want? The future is going to be more of the same. And it will change in such small increments that you won't realize it until years later. And that's why it only feels like it goes fast, because you're simply not paying attention. Happy birthday. Rob said, how come you don't have 5G for your laptops? You always have internet instead of relying on hotel Wi-Fi. I don't know how that works. I have it on my phone. I could run that off my phone. It's so fucking expensive. Even then, it doesn't really work. Sometimes you're just in dead areas. I don't know, fucking IT guy. Why don't you come over and take a look at everything? Put on your fucking tool belt and take a look at what we have going on here. Nelson, we missed orgy chat? Oh, yes, you did. Red Dog said Harley would love that Shivani story. And she did. And then she sang a song that was even filthier and wouldn't stop talking about it. Everyone wants to know who wrote Tony Schiavone's set. It was amazing. Only Tony Schiavone wrote his set. I wrote Colt's part. I wrote the opening. I wrote the intros. And I wrote the match game questions. I write mini match game questions, and then Colt gets to pick out his 6 favorites, which is a nice time. Rob said, why would I be wearing a tool belt? Why do you have to make it sexy? Then what's the matter? Huh? What are you going to do? You're going to show up and be an IT guy and not have a tool belt? You should have little tiny little screws to take those small Apple screws they have, you know? Maybe just a tiny little tool belt. Maybe just a belt, but then a small tool belt hanging off your hip with these tiny little screws. I think that would be nice. Walter said, RJ, did you like the new location for Hay outside with Darby? It was too late. We were not prepared. And you can see many, many times I'm worried about the people driving by who were genuinely alarming. I did go to Darby Allin. I did go to Darby's art show. That's what I was trying to say. Too much wrestling, too much music. It was like a big party, and it was not my fucking bag. I would much rather be left alone with the art. You know what I mean? You just give me an afternoon in silence by myself. Nobody talk to me. Leave me alone. Let me experience these things. That would have made me happier. We are in a block of Texas shows. Next week, we're in Edinburgh, Texas. To go from Edinburgh, Scotland to Edinburgh, Texas, and to really see no difference is fucking alarming. And then after that, we're in Houston, and then it's Blood and Guts in North Carolina, I think. People have been getting the wonderful items from the Whatnot, including SM, who said, "Sir, I bought the shirt off your back. It arrived today, but it's immaculate, devoid of stains or smells. How is this possible? I feel scammed." And I said, "I was sweating my ass off." And they were expecting aloe vera. It did not smell like, although aloe vera doesn't have a smell, sort of like a gel, and then it coagulates, and that's the end of it. And that's why I keep using it. Peanut Butter Complexion said, "Blood and Guts in North California." I don't know what Blood and Guts deal is, but like it's pretty clear, available information. Rose Gold said, "I was jealous when I saw photos from Darby's art show. I always miss the weird stuff in downtown Manhattan." Hook was there. Prince Nana was there. Jamie Hayter versus Billy Starks. And a bunch of weird people. Timothy Thatcher was there. Katie said, "Darby show was absolutely in Brooklyn." There's nowhere else would hold that. Maybe a Seattle. Walter said, "RJ, AW Dynamite Wednesday. I think AW wrestlers should dress up in Halloween costumes." I don't know. I think the Halloween shit's a little... Is it not enough that you're already dressing up as a wrestler? How many costumes does one need? Nell said, "Send SM something stinky, damn you." What a Harley-ass comment to make. Ellie Road, Greensboro, North Carolina. Yes, we've established that. What is this Q&A? I was going to ask who put aloe on your back from Darcy whooping you. Nobody. I just really use it on my face. Katie said, "Did the hard J nickname I came up with make you angry?" Well, it's dumb. I don't know if it made me personally angry, but it's just dumb. Answer viewer questions live. Let's do a little ask a question. Now, let me try this Q&A function. This will be separate from the Ask RJ. Let's see how this works. And then I can just end it. Is anyone... Does anyone see this? These... Oh, is this a question? Is this one of the questions? Mia said, "What is your cheat meal for today?" I would really like a bowl of oatmeal. I know it's sad to say, but I haven't had one in a while, and I think it would make me happy. And some fruit. I would really enjoy some fruit and dark chocolate espresso beans. So if I can make that happen, I absolutely will. Let's go back to the live chat where you can just write questions. I don't think people know how this works. Darby at Arby's sounds like the makings of a good skit. I love my little skits. I see it, but I can't work out how to ask something. Mia, please help Nails. Peanut Butter said, "How many outfits do you need? The Young Bucks would like a word with you." Well, they're not dressing up in Halloween costumes. I click ask questions and it wants me to report you. Oh, God, just do it. Katie said it only lets you... Mia said it only lets you answer one question. That's weird. Am I supposed to write back? Select question. And then Logan said, "What's your favorite fruit?" Great question. I love a blueberry. I like a coconut, a pineapple, and a blueberry. I've gotten off oranges. I've gotten off apples. Grapes. My grandmother used to freeze grapes. I loved it. Was nutty about it. No, those aren't really fruits. Figs, not bad. Not a fan of the kiwi. Don't really need the kiwi in my life. Bananas don't need. If I live the rest of my life without having another banana, I'm fine. I'll be totally fine. Red Dog said, what is your favorite Halloween costume and favorite Halloween memory? Excellent question. I had some good Halloween costumes in the 7th grade. Well, and there's a picture of this. It's on my Instagram somewhere. In senior kindergarten, we had 2 years of kindergarten. I was the Phantom of the Opera. My grandmother would fly in every Halloween to help us make the costumes. That was her fall tradition, because we could not have store-bought costumes. This was not fucking happening. She was worried about me wearing the Phantom mask at school with the strings, and it's plastic and they snap. So she painted the Phantom mask on my face, which is not a bad idea. And I had a little squeaky cane, and every time I put it on the ground, it went beep, 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 like that. And the kids did not get it. In the 7th grade, I was Mr. Rogers, and I did the impression for the full fucking day, including a puppet, which was great. And I will say the teachers liked it. My father played in a pipe band, so I was just a general Scottish guy once, which was also fun. So I used to do a very decent accent. I guess that's it. I can't think of anything else that was really like, yeah, great costume. Sometimes you throw together shit and it's fucking awful. I tried to be an alien one year, and I had a green scream mask because my grandmother said, well, that kind of looks like an alien. And I had fake eyeballs pinned to my chest, and I had a third arm, like most aliens do. But we had a good time. We had good neighbors, kids on the street. It was a big to-do. It was quite a gang. And I did it quite a long time. I did it probably longer than you should be trick-or-treating. I think I did it into 9th or 10th grade before I went, well, I guess we can't do this anymore. One time, much later as an adult, I was Danny DeVito's Penguin, and it was excellent. I had a really good impression. People didn't realize it was me. So it was too good. And what else was I? After Monster Brawl, I got a lot of use out of the werewolf contacts. And I think that's it. That's it. And now I'm good. Now I'm officially too old to participate in any capacity other than, handing out candy, I guess. But even that, I don't know. Just want to watch a movie and be left alone. That's a recurring theme. Do I feel sorry for the Young Bucks being broke? Yeah, I do. I don't think it's their fault. I don't think they did anything wrong. I, as someone who doesn't have a graphic, I very much understand a company-wide disrespect and the effects it can have on someone's psyche. And, I've helped out. I don't know if they've noticed it, but, someone will sneak in the locker room and throw a few dollars in Matt and Nick's bags. At least I hope it's their bags. I just see something that looks like theirs, and I, try to spread the wealth a little. So that's important to me. All right, let's fucking. So have I been ignoring the live chat this whole time? Yes. Okay, so let's end this Q&A. Okay, you can just. It was kind of moot. You can just write it here. Neil said, can we do a poll instead? Yes, we can do a poll. Give me a second. Gina said, are you a regular hot oats guy or an overnight oats? I don't mind the overnight. I don't like making it. I don't have the time. Although I do make a cold brew all the time, and that's never a problem. So why would I, be upset about this? Well, my father has chimed in to send photos of me, I guess, to support the chat. So this is me as the Phantom of the Opera, as you can see. And if you can't tell I'm the Phantom of the Opera, I'm wearing a shirt that says Phantom of the Opera. So, by the way, for all you Phantom enthusiasts out there, I want to point out, and no one's been able to answer this question at all, he only wears the half-face mask. Why is the double mask always the one that's advertised? In all the branding and all that shit, it's always that mask. Appears nowhere in the actual musical. Something to think about. And then here's me, thanks to my father, as the Wolfman. I think my father was taking a picture of his computer here, but you get the gist. How nice the contacts were. Someone just actually reviewed Monster Brawl, and enough time has passed that people think it's a good movie. And that's the power of nostalgia. So if you do something that's bad, just wait long enough and everyone will think it's good. Katie said, you seem like you would find mangoes overwhelming. Way too much work, whatever the fuck that is. Awful idea. Shouldn't even be on the fruit list. Katie said, oh, so it's giving that you don't love a tropical fruit other than pineapple. Well, coconut. Banana tangles are why I dislike eating plain bananas. That's fair. What is your most hated food? Probably crepes or poutine. I don't get, and maybe I don't hate the food. I hate the enthusiasm around it. I don't think it's warranted. Nell said, I wonder how Mama City feels about the story of her throwing you down the stairs, making it to hay. I have not spoken to her since the episode has aired. We will see. Mike said, I need to see a photo of the Mr. Rogers costume. That's long fucking gone. I don't know where that would be. Everett said, Halloween's my absolute least favorite day of the year. Lock all the doors, turn the lights off. Let's leave it at that. It's also, I feel like, I don't know if I'm just older or that the neighborhood is changing. I feel like nobody does it anymore. There's just less and less kids. We're not a society that leaves their houses that much anymore. You know? Walter said, RJ Thunder Rosa will be back at AEW. She's still taking some time off. Thanks for letting me know, Walter. I appreciate you informing me. Rose said honeydew melon is delicious. I also agree with that. Have you seen any of the AI Mr. Rogers telling dirty jokes to Tupac? Yes, and I think it's fucking stupid. I don't think it's that funny, and I think it's ridiculous to do AI parodies of shit that, like, we make jokes of so long ago. There's a wonderful National Lampoon's radio hour, all audio sketch with Mr. Rogers. He interviews a bass player. That's a fucking classic. My favorite is on SCTV when they did Battle of the PBS Stars, and John Candy was Julia Child, and Martin Short was Mr. Rogers, and that was one of my favorites. And I've since tried to track down what ring that is because they filmed it in Canada and it was a wrestling ring. And my belief in my little heart is that I once wrestled in that ring. Furthermore, I just like watching Mr. Rogers. I need to watch I don't need jokes in my shit. Mr. Rogers, it's funny enough and calming and enjoyable enough on its own. Just fucking AI shit. Jesus. Ben Ortman said, good morning, Mr. Said. I just hope you're having a wonderful morning. I have nothing important to say as per usual. But that's why you're consistent. And I appreciate that. Harley said, you look lovely today. Sing I Feel Pretty. Let me see if I can bring up the lyrics. I feel pretty, oh so pretty. I feel pretty and witty and bright, and I pity any girl who isn't me tonight. Dun, dun, dun. I feel charming, oh so charming. It's alarming how charming I feel, and so pretty that I hardly can believe I'm real. Dun, 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 pretty, pretty girl in that mirror there. Dun, 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 who can that attractive girl be? Such a pretty face, such a pretty dress, such a pretty smile, such a pretty me. I feel stunning and entrancing, feel like running and dancing for joy, for I'm loved by a pretty, wonderful boy. Well, that was nice. That was finally a good request. It's taken 40 tries, but a good, reasonable, non-embarrassing request from Harley Cameron. So thank you. See how I return it in kind? Katie said that mask is a visual slay, and you know it. Thanks for the photos, Papa City. Mia wants to know what Harley's dressing up as for Halloween. It's not. Go ask on her fucking shit. Katie said, howdy, Harley. Your segments this week were fucking hilarious. Ellie said, I actually watched Monster Brawl the other week. It's coming back. Christine has a fuchsia tribute. I have been here, but I'm also buffering. I have no requests except for everyone to have a great week and put a Sylvia emoji, and she is doing great. So don't worry about it. Trying to get my pal who has a podcast to add The Masked Saint and Monster Brawl to their film review episodes. Good luck with that. Fella's got his work cut out for him. Don't know if you missed SM's birthday shout out. So can you do it, please? I've done it twice now. One was on the Frozen stream, which I did not realize, and the other one I did live. So I don't know what the fuck you're paying attention to. SM, happy birthday. I've said it 3 fucking times now. You're not that special. It's just another day. And with the Earth, with the leap years and shit, this is not exactly 1 year ago either, or 40 fucking years ago, however old you are that you were born. It's not the way it works. It's a day that we have marked because we are desperately searching for meaning. Let that go, and you will find peace. Prisma said, who the hell gets excited about eating grapes? Get the green ones and fucking freeze them, and you suck on them like candy. You can't beat that. Carib said, National Lampoon's Radio Hour mentioned. My heart melts again. Logan said that was delightful singing. And that was beautiful. I sang along. Thank you, Harley. See how appreciative everyone is of her when she plays by the rules? Mr. Scott said, are there any Halloween TV specials you enjoyed? Well, the top of my list will always have to be the Paul Lynde Halloween special with Tim Conway and Margaret Hamilton and Kiss. And there's someone else in it. Disco baby, why don't you go dust? And then like a year later, he tried to do a Christmas special where he's serious. And he does like a dramatic version of The Night Before Christmas. And it fucking sucks. I love, and I can only watch them in complete seclusion and privacy because no one else will watch them with me. Joe Piscopo did, I believe, 2 Halloween specials. At least one. I might be confusing a regular special with a Halloween special. He did it at a college, and it's just, I mean, you can tell he thought, where's the best place to get Coke? Let's do a special there. And he does this obscenely long, almost shot-for-shot remake of the Thriller music video, except it's him and the wonderful Jan Hooks. And instead of turning into a werewolf or a zombie, he turns into Jerry Lewis from The Nutty Professor, which is great for me. And then he does a lot of other stupid things. I do also want to point out there's a Halloween Havoc, and the intro to it is these kids, they spend too much money because it was Turner and they could make movies and whatever. And all these kids for Halloween, they knock on Tony Schiavone's house, and he opens the door and he has pale makeup and he has a tuxedo on, and it's creepy and it's way too long. And it's the worst opening to the pay-per-view ever, which makes it in many ways the best opening. Molly said, holy shit, you're back. Yeah, sorry. Red Dog said, I want to see Mr. Rogers skit with RJ, Harley, and Statlander as Speedy Delivery and Lady Aberlin. Lady Aberlin, I believe, she's still alive. She's still alive. June Lockhart died, by the way, who was the mom in Lost in Space. Lady Aberlin, let's read about Betty Aberlin, shall we? Born Betty K. Egoloff in New York City, she grew up in a Jewish family. She attended public schools in Queens, Staten Island, graduated, studied art, modern dance, and literature. She made her debut at the Phoenix Theater in a play called Sandhog. Regular role as Lady Aberlin for 33 years. Think about that. On the children's television series Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, she was King Friday's niece, which is what a lot of people don't talk about. Frequently the main character of the neighborhood make-believe segments, often the only human non-puppet character in the segments. She acted as something of a level-headed older sister to the puppet characters, an audience surrogate providing exposition, sometimes nicknamed Lady A. She also sometimes acted as a surrogate mother to Daniel Tiger. In a memorable episode from June 7th, 1968, just 2 days after the Robert F. Kennedy shooting, Daniel Tiger asked Lady Aberlin about the word assassination after his balloon deflated. She also appeared on the Smothers Brothers show and in various TV spots. For a short time, she did a late-night radio show on WYEP-FM in Pittsburgh, non-commercial, community-supported radio station. The program featured jazz, spoken art, and poetry. Aberlin wrote and performed a sequence, can't read today, in Acre TV's Stop Me Before I Love Again, in a theme show on Growing Older, which aired on PBS. She played Meryl Streep's sister in Elizabeth Swato's Alice in Concert. She later found a friendship with Kevin Smith, appeared in Dogma, Jersey Girl, Zack and Miri Mega Porno, Red State, and the 4:30 movie. In 2005, Aberlin contributed the essay The Blonding of America to the literary website Fresh Yarn. She commented on privilege and physical appearance, I guess not being blonde. The point of departure for her reflections is the purchase of a blonde wig to hide her first gray hairs. I can't relate. She observes how this change to her appearance affects a change in consciousness. I put the wig on, and I don't even notice the homeless anymore. She concludes the essay, later on that evening, I saw a yellow school bus. On the sooty back window of the bus, someone had drawn a swastika. I'll tell you, it certainly feels a little safer being blonde. That's something to think about. Beautiful stuff. Really, really beautiful stuff. And she's still alive. She's around. She's got to be around. And she's married to Dr. Penn Lubavitch. I don't know what he does, but he's also still alive. Let me get back in here. Are there any? I just fucking read that. Does Piscopo have a good Jerry Lewis impression, or is that the joke? He has a very good Jerry Lewis impression. It's just not framed well in the sketch. Neil said, Halloween Havoc? Yes, I'm talking about the original WCW one, not whatever it's been repurposed into. If you don't have Tony Schiavone, you don't have Halloween Havoc. James said, RIP June Lockhart made it to 100. Good for her. Legend. I thought she was dead for at least 10 years. Grew up as a kid watching many reruns of Lassie. She was also in Red Dog's favorite movie, Sergeant York. Mike said, I just realized this week that Paul Lynde was the voice of Mildew Wolf while watching Laugh Olympics with my little one. You see a lot of, especially when they couldn't get work, he did a lot of voices. Charles Nelson Riley did a lot of voices. Paul Rubens did the Flintstones. They were the Frankenstones. The Frankenstones. So they had their own spin-off kind of thing. It's basically like if the Munsters lived next door to the Flintstones. Not to be confused with the Gruesomes, who also lived next door to them. Let me see if I can get the see if who did the voices here. And a lot of times, I will say, they're doing impressions of celebrities, usually. Here we go. This will fucking blow your mind. So this is the third version of the Frankenstones. In the Flintstone comedy show spinoff, they had their own like segment. Frank Frankenstone was voiced by Charles Nelson Riley. Hedieh Frankenstone was voiced by Ruta Lee. Atrocia Frankenstone was voiced by Zelda Rubinstein, who you may remember as the woman in the Poltergeist, the little lady in the Poltergeist. Freaky Frankenstone was voiced by young Paul Rubens, because this is 1980. And Rockjaw, their pet monster, was voiced by Frank Welker, who does every voice in a cartoon ever. I just realized I just read that. What a weird series of coincidences. Nail said, hoping SM is lurking to see all the love, but I clipped the 2 messages and sent it to her just in case. As long as she gets them, that's the important thing. Are you a match game guy? Katie, where the fuck have you been? We just played it live in St. Louis. By the way, I do want to say, World's End, the pay-per-view, is in Chicago December 27th. On December 26th, Boxing Day, there has been much talk about us possibly returning to the Chicago theater that I'm trying to remember the name of. Give me a second. Let me remember the name of the fucking theater. Stand by, everyone. I gotta look this up. We'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. We're gonna figure it out. It's Oh no, that's not it. That's the last poster for the last show. Stand by, everyone. Somebody write. No, not the Aragon Ballroom. The Comedy Club. The name of the Comedy Club. Shit. It's coming to me. It's coming to me. No, it's not. Stop saying Aragon Ballroom. Here it is. The Lincoln Lodge. There's been talk of doing a late night Boxing Day show. So prepare yourself. If you're in the area, if you're coming to World's End, it'll be a time. Nails said, what's your favorite thing about Halloween? Good question, Nails. I like the pumpkins. I like the carving of the pumpkins. My grandmother used to sing a pumpkin song. Let me see if I can find the lyrics. It's very obscure. And let me know if anyone has ever heard this before. It's called the Thanksgiving Turkey Drumstick Jack-o'-lantern Pumpkin Pie Table Song. So it doesn't really have a name. Is it Jewish? Because this is on the lyrics are found on the Talmudic blog of Rabbi Dr. Zvi Zavi. Oh, a lone pumpkin grew on a green pumpkin vine. He was round, he was fat, he was yellow. No silly jack-o'-lantern shall I make, he said. I'm determined to be a useful fellow. Though he raised up his head when the cook came around, and at once he was chosen as the winner. His fondish wish came true. He was a proud pumpkin pie, and the glory of the great Thanksgiving dinner. For the glory of the jack is in the lantern, as he sits up on the gatepost oh so high. The glory of the turkey is the drumstick, but the glory of the pumpkin is the pie. It's a very, there's not a lot of information on it. And the only YouTube video it links to are this Jewish family singing it around the table. Zvi Zavi, the Zavis are singing it around the table. But my grandmother would carve the pumpkins and then sing it sort of in tribute. And it is about a pumpkin volunteering themselves as tribute. So if anyone knows this fucking song, let me know. Katie said she'll come to Chicago for that. Nell said, I'm sure it would be so easy to do the comedy show in New York. So many venues. Well, first of all, Full Gear's in New Jersey. There's not enough lead time. And all the venues are very fucking expensive. And it's hard to move people around. It's harder to do it in New York than it is in Chicago, for sure. When we come back to New York, I think we'll give it a shot. St. Louis was a big experiment because it is a lot of work. You don't want to risk not making money, and it's supposed to be a fun side thing. So you want to make sure all the bases are covered, you know? So let's see. Katie said, did they make the Lincoln Logs out of Lincoln Logs? Well, that's just offensive. Kevin said, Abe Lincoln was the first person to do a choke slam. There's a highway, a lanky man. Incredible length. I saw an AI recreation, and I'm not searching this shit. It just came up on my fucking TikTok or whatever, of what Abe Lincoln looked like moments before he got shot. And it's just him watching the play. Didn't need that. Got that in my head. Nell said, I promised to come to the New York show and have more than the 2-drink minimum. And that's the other thing. They have certain requirements. I don't know. It's gone well so far. We've done 4 of them. I guess we'll do a 5th in December. And then let's see. Do we do one in LA? Dare we attempt the Comedy Store? I don't know. Sometimes I feel bad that we're like forcing ourselves in there. You know? I don't know. It's just me. It's just how I feel. I'm sorry. I got a lot going on. Hey, not so bad. The stream, once we got back, we stayed back. I do want to say, in case you missed it before, go watch the latest AEW with Darby Allin. I'm not allowed to, I'm not permitted to tag him on Twitter. I'm not permitted to tag him on Instagram. Like, it doesn't work is what I'm saying. Because he's a cool, that's how punk people do social media. So if you like it, go tell him. He won't read it, but Neil said, forcing the entertainment upon the paying customers. That's really what I do best. Christine, if you're here, are you able to tell me what episode that was? Was that 160? Was that 159 or 160? I thought we were going to wrap at 150, and here we are 10 weeks later. Sick Boy said, Darby episode was entertaining. Thanks. We're learning. Oh, that was 160. Okay, that makes me feel happy. So next week's 161. Let's look at some photos from the event. As you can see here, and I will post these later, this is the sign I made on the street. And Darby is I think, enjoying that he reduced me to this. Nell said, Kenny soon. You fucking tweet him. I'm there. It's written. I'm ready to go. Get the guy to sit down. I love the man's work. I've researched his career extensively. There are plenty of things I want to talk about, so I'm ready and willing. Lady said, Jeebus Archer, so the latest, hey, W, poor you, but I did giggle a bit. So, I mean, the guy who made the sign of Forbidden Door, or not Forbidden Door, at Wrestle Dream, that's a start. Are you keeping the receipts for Darby, or does he get a pass? I'll keep them until he forgets about them. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what you understand what I'm saying? One day he's going to forget 30 years from now, and his time will come. Here's the crew sitting on the hay set. Sometimes we wait for bigger names to do it, and they never show up, and that's a good example of that. And here is Mitch, who's often responsible for setting up hay. And he calls it Hey Ooh because he's never seen an episode of the show. Nice prime number, going to be a special episode. Nail said we are fucking tweeting him. Well, maybe he doesn't like you. Maybe it's your fault. Red Dog said more lady wrestler guests or guest refs. Let me look at the AW roster, because I think I've run through here we go. Alex Windsor, Anna J, Athena, Billy Starks, Deanna, Diamante, Britt Baker, Emi Sakura, Harley Cameron, Sheeta, Jamie Hayter, Julia Hart, Chris Statlander, Layla Gray, Marina has been on, Megan Bain, Mercedes has not been on. That's a glaring one that she needs to fix. Mina, Nyla, Penelope, Aminata, Red Velvet, Ruby Soho, Deeb, Sky Blue, Ty Mello, Taya Valkyrie, Tekla, Thunder Rosa, Willow Nightingale, Viva Van is perhaps one I could get cracking on. And Yuka Sakazaki. Karen Jarrett has been on. We can go all the way down the list. So, yeah, I would say I had a healthy amount of, I would say almost all the women on the show. Neil said, I have lots of questions about Darby's episode 4. Ask RJ. Well, that's just tremendous. Lady said, your sign gave it some seasoning on the scene where you were both on the latest. What? You sign gave it some seasoning on the scene where you were both at on the latest day. Did you just punch your keyboard? Neil's one's Mini Monet for hay. I'm not putting up with that. Katie said, oh, Nixon Newell, also possible. Rose loved the Yuka episode. Just create your own title. Mercedes will come on so she can take it. The AEW championship is up for grabs, and I'm ready to go. Ready and willing to go. She can come and take it. All they need to do is sit down, and I will take care of everything else. Could not make it easier. Sting had to only show up in blackout form because he's avoiding doing the show. That's what happens here. What else is going on? There's things happening. The comedy show. I'm back. I'm back now. Gina said, do an episode with the people in the DC comic. I've gotten pretty much all of those people except Kenny and Mercedes. So, I mean, we're back to where we are right now. Don Callis would be a wonderful episode. Carib said, at what point of the day do you switch from coffee to espresso martinis? I try to get rid of the martini portion. I can just have a 4 or 5 o'clock. That's a good window for an espresso. Neil said, you're back. Lady said, will you do another episode of Hey featuring Dalton Castle since he's back? No. You can't just go away and come back and expect whatever. Nell said, and Tony Shalhoub could be a guest one day. That's the other thing I didn't talk about, maybe. You didn't hear me when I was talking. So I've been doing this collaboration with CNN, the CNN original series, Tony Shalhoub Breaking Bread. It is official collaboration. AEW refused to post it on their main channel because they don't respect me. I had to do all the work. And I just want it to be known that my contributions to the business have been getting TCM, Ben Mankiewicz, CNN, and Tony Shalhoub involved in wrestling in ways that nobody else could. And I'll never get credit for it. I'll never get the respect I deserve for it. I'm shunned because it's such new ground that's being broken that people can't conceive it. And it frightens them and it scares them. But that's my burden to bear. That's the price you pay for being first. Do you know what I'm saying? Purple Fish said, you and Callis would be the first hour-long AEW, and I am ready. We should do a podcast together. Red Dog said, tell Ben at TCM to make the app available to anyone, not just people who are paying ridiculous amounts for cable. I'm pretty sure that's not his decision. Katie said, can we please get Josh Mankiewicz as well for the Mankiewicz Foundation? I'd love to make a donation. Neil said, he's a genius, not appreciated or understood in his area. Yeah, I'm like Bill Hicks. Oh, I hate marketing. Hey, RJ, got speed and got blast. Rob said, Shalhoub's getting the graphic before you ever will. Get Josh Matthews on AEW. Fuck me. Mr. Scott said, RJ is a visionary. Trouble is, he's only an hour and a half ahead. Hey, in the wrestling business, that's decades ahead as far as I'm concerned. There's things I invented in this business that for those 90 minutes, it was all me. Lady said, you and Harley did a nice job in the latest AEW Games episode. Go watch us all play Jackbox. Me, Harley, John Silver, Colt Cabana, and MXM. They want us back, and I'm nervous about it. I don't know if I want to do it. Well, that is pretty much the show. Go watch AEW with Darby Allin. Go watch, go like, go comment, go share. Go tell him you like it. Go tell AEW you like it. And tell AEW that I should be respected for my Shalhoub contributions to the business. And whoever else you want, hey, just tweet the shit out of them and let's break them together. Get a final look at these as I'm stuck to the chair. You get the general gist here. Great stuff. In the meantime,